Good afternoon or evening or wherever you are. Hey y'all, hey y'all. Oh we. So it's Thursday. It's Thursday, which means we are here for SexTech Thursday today. And today we are specifically going to be talking about queering reproduction. So strap in, hold on tight now. Because we're gonna get into some really good stuff. Some good stuff. So I feel like I got so much work to do. So much to do. And I need $60,000. So if you have $60,000 that you're not using, I would really like to have it, not borrow it. Maybe if I can return it in like 5, 10 years. But I need 60K right now. So yeah. So much stuff to do. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm just so tired. I just want to take a moment and like today. So for the last like 3 days, not even kidding, like the last 3 days, I mean like I'm not doing these shows. Every day I done still got up and done it, but every single day for the last 3 days I have not wanted to. I have not. I have not. I'm tired. I'm going through perimenopause. I hate everything. And you get to go through perimenopause, but you also still get to have periods. So like, oh, life is awesome. You know, you get all the shit that comes with not having periods, but you still get to have periods. Fantastic. I'm really like, I could tear down a fucking building. I could. I could rip it out of the ground, poles, posts, and all. And nothing's happened. I have no reason to be angry. Everything's good. Bruce brought me breakfast this morning. It's still sitting in there. I didn't even eat it. I don't even have an appetite. Because fucking perimenopause, man. And I know that's what it is. I was talking to my best friend and I was like, man, I feel like I'm cascading into depression. And she was like, I don't like that. Like, what's wrong? And I'm like, bitch, nothing. I don't absolutely nothing. And so, I do know that like it's perimenopause. And I'm broke. If it was money, I would love to have more money. That would be awesome. Like literally all I know that everybody say like money can't solve all problems, but like literally money would solve all of my problems. All of them right now. It would solve them all. Every problem that I have right now can be solved with money. So, you know, don't believe the hype. Do not believe the hype. Because yeah, show me the money. Um, but that's not what we're here for today. We probably won't be here long today either, just because I'm just really not. I'm not. I want to be. I really do, but it's so weird. Like the feeling of this is so weird because like this is not like my normal life. It's not how my life usually goes, and like now it's in a whole different arena and like I ain't never been here before. I don't know what this is. What sport is this? Who are these fans? I don't know. I don't know. I've never been here before and it's a terrible place. I'm not having fun. This is top 5 worst games of my life. Okay? And I don't even know what we playing. I guess I just had to get that out. I guess it was just necessary. I think I just heard my shaking muffins pull up. Um But yeah, man, stuff. Like, I do not think we have not done. What were the people before us? How were they like? I don't know. I don't know. How were they able to? How was the generations before us? I mean, I guess they wasn't putting up with it. Like when you think about it, I definitely feel like the the things that my mom like, she definitely had some periods when we were like, girl, what is wrong with you? Like, girl, what is wrong with you? But like, I definitely feel that now. And like, they weren't really talking about it. Maybe like, everybody was just like, this is what you're supposed to do. I don't know, but I'm making it through though. I am. As far as like the symptoms that other people are having and like some other stuff that they're going through, like, because everything else in my life is essentially good, like all the other parts are amazing, I don't really have a reason to be. So I know that it's just a hormone imbalance. I know that's what it is. So I'm just not taking myself very seriously right now. And staying out of my husband's way, because I don't want to like make him mad either. And, like, I don't even know what's going on. So um yeah, man, perimenopause is hard. And like, this is just the premenopause. I haven't even gotten into the menopause yet. Like, if I had to choose, I would actually like to be on that side, because at least I wouldn't still be having periods. Give me the full menopause. I don't care about the premenopause. You can keep that shit. Give me the symptoms without the cycle. That's what I want. Okay. Let's clean the slate of that. All right, we're good. It's nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. So let's talk about queering reproduction. And what is queering reproduction? Let me see. I thought I wrote down Dr. Laura Mamo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Mamo or Mamo. It's Mamo. Um is the person who, she actually has a I don't know if she identifies as a she, but I'll say they actually have a book called Queering Reproduction. And what this means is that it is just, the queering reproduction is decentering cis heteronormative nuclear family models, okay, which we've actually already been doing. It didn't have a name before. And so it's everything outside of a married man and a married woman having a baby. It's all the things outside of that, right? And so when you are talking about heteronormative relationships, we know that those do not always work, right? We're aware that we can see the data that heteronormative relationships are not the perfect relationships, right? So that means there has to be other ways to make this happen that doesn't require a man and a woman making a baby, a man and a woman and just the baby. So when you start looking at that, we look at, who's been allowed to have babies, who has access to reproductive care, all of those types of things. And when you start looking at that, you see that it is a very linear line on who's, like, the way that children should be brought into the world and raised. And they only look outside of that, the cis heteronormative lane, when cis heteronormative people need it, right? So when you talk about in vitro fertilization, you're usually talking about in vitro fertilization with a man and a woman. But in vitro fertilization is not conducive to just this linear path of man and woman going to make a baby. You can be anyone and have access to IVF. All you need to have is money and resources. So that still leaves a lot of people out. And because it is a lane that is acceptable to heteronormative communities, IVF is not seen as queering reproduction, but it absolutely is. If the man and the woman cannot make the baby, then you are using alternative means to make the baby. And so if it can be available for you, it should be available for anyone who wants to have a baby. So when we look at the framework as something that's available for everyone and not just for the cis heteronormative lane, you're looking at a whole different definition of a nuclear family. So there's a lot of different ways to create and reframe reproduction that includes everyone, including cis heteronormative folk, right? So there is there are plenty of people who were not gifted the ability to have children, no matter what your sexual identity is, right? You could be the straightest of straight and still not have been able to make a child. Does that mean that you're less than? Does that mean that because you are not a mother or a father that you are not important, that you cannot be a part of a nuclear family? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so if we look at a nuclear family as something outside of just the man and the woman, we see that there are a lot more options available for creating a striving and thriving family. And so what does that look like? We have LGBTQ plus people using IVF and IUE, surrogacy, sperm banks, and egg donors, right? So that is two men who are in a relationship going to go get an egg donor. It's two women who are trying to make a baby going through IVF. It is a man and a woman using a sperm bank to create a child if one of them is not able to do that. And so it has all of these different flavors of family. And we're seeing that a lot more often now. And I'll give you the perfect example. The Brat and Judy. The Brat and Judy, when they said they were going to have a child, the expectation was that Judy was going to be the one having the kids. But Judy already has kids. And so it was safer for the Brat to go through the gestational pregnancy. And so that's what she did. She went through the gestational pregnancy. And so you're looking at what it looks like when you're doing what's best for the body and the baby, and not what society deems should be happening. And I guess that's the big thing with labels. Like, labels do have a place. They do. But it also has a confinement signature to it, because the label puts you in a box. And when you're put in that box, when you're put in that box, the expectations people bring to the box are set for you. It's not, you don't get to choose. So, and you see that now with the discourse between the old studs and the new studs. You know, the older studs are like, oh, these girls are twerking and they ain't no studs. They ain't no real studs. They getting their nails done and blah, blah, blah. Again, when you make that box, you have societal expectations attached to that box. So even though that's what, you present physically, your eyes present as, or can see, that's not how the stipulations that you've put on that box, the rules that you've put on that box, I don't agree with those rules. So where do I go? And it's easier to just not create the box than it is to make new boxes for all the little nuances of things, right? And so I guess you can use that in some places, but maybe not all. But I do believe that the Brat and the Judy and the Brat and the Judy that I'm talking about these people like I know them. I don't. I'm just a sex educator, and they have a very public life. But it is, when you put those boxes up there, you are setting an expectation that the people who belong in that box may not have already agreed to. And so I think it was dope that that the Brat was able to carry to full term with her very first child. And again, the expectation is if you're a stud, you don't want to have a baby. Like, you don't want to be pregnant. You want to be a man. That's, what the old heads, they have an expectation that you are supposed to act like a man. And if you do not act like a man, then, you can be ostracized and put outside of that community. The same thing for men who are not necessarily trans. They're just gay, but they're more feminine. And so there's an expectation that those type of people are only going to want to be with straight, or straight presenting men, or trade as they're called, straight presenting men. But you're seeing more now that feminine men are dating masculine women. And those two people have the ability to create a safe and nuclear family if they wanted to, with a child, right? And even though visually you would look and see that the roles may be reversed, but at the end of the day, we don't know those roles are reversed. They just look like that because our eyes are reading the social constructs of what we determine this to be. So we're not looking at it through a lens of these are two people. I'm looking at it as that's a stud. That's I actually don't know. What do you call? Let's look it up. What do you call boys who are? I guess feminine boys. It has to be a better name. Hold on, let's look it up. I know that we call women who are masculine mask, right? But I think femme is for gay girls who still dress feminine. So I don't think you can't transfer the two terms. So since this is mask, that's femme. I think someone already is using femme, so it has to be another word. So let's figure out what it is. A femboy. Okay. It says it can be used as a form of gender expression, but it can also be used as an insult. I don't like that. Camp, I like that. I don't like effeminate. Yes, because back in the day, that was a derogatory term, so we don't want to use that. That's why I was like, I know it's not that. And again, I was pretty sure. Let me Google. Okay, so in queer communities, femme is an identity label for those who express themselves with femininity, often but not exclusively used for lesbian and other LGBTQ individuals. Mm. Femme is not simply a description of someone's appearance, but rather an identity that individuals choose and embrace. Okay. Um, okay. I like that. But we're seeing a lot more of those types of relationships. There's a popular couple on TikTok. I don't know the names. They just come up on my For You page sometime. But it's a masked lesbian with locks, and it's a fanboy who carries a purse, and they are together, and that's what they do. And I seen a clip recently of Santana and a stud came out, and they were flirting, and Drewski was like, and Santana was like, shut up, I like it. So like there is an attraction to masculinity and femininity that goes above and beyond like your sexual organs. Okay, so even if you are gay, as in Santana, which I don't know if he identifies as straight gay, but I do know that he is primarily interested in men, in a sexual and romantic way. But him seeing a masked woman, he was still all giggly and stuff, because you can still be attracted to masculinity even though you're gay, or you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay. So, and I know that it's a lot to like have to dig through, but this is a part of being a human. Every part of human history has felt this. We are not immune. And I think that's something that we forget on a regular basis, is that every single person who has ever existed was a part of history. Okay, every single person in every time frame was a part of some type of history, and we are currently living in a time frame where we are going to be a part of history. We are not going to be a good part. I will tell you that. This that we're doing in 100 years, they're going to be calling us idiots the same way we were calling, old racist white people idiots, and the way we still call them idiots. And just the way that we will be represented in the future, I don't know if we see that right now, but we're going to be a terrible section of the history books. We will, because we're going to be the moment when it stopped. We've always been progressing, right? We've always been moving forward. It's always been people doing the work to move forward. But we are in a point now where we're not moving forward. We're moving backwards. We're going back. And so we're at like a full stop at the top of the hill. And then we're rolling on back through all the neighborhoods, all the shit that we tore up on the way here, going back through it. And that's going to be our legacy. That's going to be the legacy of this time period. And so we have to put some sparkles in there. And, some of those sparkles is going to be us expanding our language, expanding our knowledge of relationships, expanding our knowledge of people. And that thing, too, is it really, really bothers me that there's no expectation for the language to change. Even though the language has changed throughout history, throughout our parents' lifetime, our grandparents' lifetime, language has changed. It has evolved. More words have been made to describe things. That is who we are. That is what we do. But, soon as a new word comes up, oh, you just making up all this new stuff. No, bitch, we got to make new words. It's like we have to make new things. This is the way that the world works. We will never evolve. We will never grow if we don't make new words, if we don't use new language, if we don't do new things. We can still do the old things too, but it has to be a progression of forwardness for us to be a thriving society. And we are not that right now. We are not. You can take it what you want. Okay, so if we are opening up the possibilities for people to have nuclear families outside of the heteronormative guidelines, then I haven't turned this light on. I was like, why is that shadow back there? I plugged it up. I didn't turn it on. But if we're looking at life outside of the heteronormative scope, and what people should have the ability to try to create other types of families. Okay. And so I always see, in one of the classes we do, in one of the SARs that we do, there is a bit, is it Barbara Walters? I want to say it's Barbara Walters. And she's interviewing someone who's in a poly relationship. And it's a woman who has 2 boyfriends. And in that clip, she was with a partner. She wanted a baby. The partner did not want a baby. He told her to go out and find a partner that does want a baby. She did. They brought the baby and the partner back into the house. And now the main caretaker is the man who never wanted a child. And so, even on top of that, now she wants another child, and now the man that she just had a baby with does not want any more kids. So you're looking at, that's a typical heteronormative relationship, but just like in one house under the guise of love. And I think that a lot of poly relationships get a bad rap. Like, oh, well, that's why you shouldn't have all them people in your relationship. You've been in a relationship with one person all your life and you are still single. You've been in a one-person relationship 12 times and you are still single. So you do not have the blueprint. They don't have it either. There is no right way to have a relationship. And demonizing people who are in poly relationships when you have not been able to maintain a relationship in your singular monogamous life, maybe you should try different things. Maybe you should try some different options, right? So you can't say that these people are not doing it correctly when you also are not doing it correctly. And I am married and I did it incorrect a whole bunch of times. a whole bunch of times. I liked and unliked a whole lot of people. At one at a time. I'm not better than nobody. I'm not better than her. I'm not better than nobody. I did the same thing. And so you having a monogamous relationship does not make you superior, because you can still get cheated on. You can still, somebody bring an STD back to you. You can still end up in an abusive relationship. All the same things. All the same things. So we have to look at the way that we view people and that we view relationships and the hierarchy that we put on heteronormative relationships. Although we know that, you know, our parents are divorced and the neighbors down the street parents are divorced and our best friend's parents were never together. My daddy cheated on his wife to make me. So we know that that's not how that works. Like, we're aware that heteronormative relationships don't just peak and be perfect. So there's no need to try to live in the hierarchy of this is the way that it should be when it has not been successful for many, many people. So we just have to make sure that we're keeping the lanes open and that we are where we are making sure that we are keeping the doors open for people to figure it out. Okay, so we have, there's also, I think, another thing that people don't realize too, because they think that when you're talking about queer and reproduction and IVF and all that stuff, that, you know, there's just some random something going in and blah, blah, blah. But this can be a shared biological parenting experience, even in a lesbian relationship. So if, say, one partner provides the egg, but the other partner is the one who carries the pregnancy, that definitely makes both of y'all the parents. So we have to just get outside of the way that we view parenting in families, especially if it's not helpful for the children. So us being together, being abusive to each other, cheating on each other, causing depression and heartbreak and all this other stuff is not conducive to a healthy household for children. So if you learn more about yourself, maybe you can make a place that feels like home to a child and can feel like a family to a child. And there are plenty people who have gone through non-heteronormative family structures and have been successful. There are plenty of people who have done that. You know, I've seen the videos, we've had interviews, that's a mosquito. Oh no, he got to go. I'm not in the mood. I am not in the mood. I'm not. I'll burn it to the ground. Okay. All right. You can also do this in queer and reproduction is also a part of the conversation where we've been talking about co-parenting with friends, right? It's been a move for women to move in together with your children and you both work together to raise those children, not in a romantic way, but just as a support system to each other. Raising kids in a community. I am a part of all of my friends' children's lives. All of them. They all call me Auntie Tasha. This is a community project. Baby, we all work together. So it is, family doesn't have to be just, you know, the baby that you make and the person that you make that baby with. It can be whoever. It could be whoever takes an interest in you. And as someone who plans on adopting teenagers, like when I get settled, when I get my shit together, because it's not together right now. If I had 60K, never mind. When I get my shit together, I do plan on adopting teens and just like giving them that. I absolutely am going to consider those children my children. Those are my kids. I care about them. And more so because I am choosing. We are picked for each other. It is, I love you more because I am choosing for you to be here. I want you. You were not an accident. I went through a big process to make sure that you're here. And so we also have a stigma around adoptive versus birth or biological children. When adoptive children are just as important and integral to a family as a biological child is. That your biological kid could be a school shooter, he could be a person that pushes old people down, he could be a thief, he could be a rapist, he could be all kinds of things. And that's what you stuck with, right? That's yours. You created that. That blood is running through your veins. That child is not necessarily going to be better because it came from your loins. So we have to reimagine what a family looks like and how we go about taking care of the family. There's this big discourse right now on school supplies. It happens every year. And it burns me up. I have all of these. I try not to share too much my thoughts because I have very strong opinions and I like to fight. Like physically fight. And so you're not too much. I'm never gonna be the one sitting on a panel trying to defend my existence. That's never gonna happen because I don't have the energy for that and I like to fight. So I'm never gonna do that. But just the way that let me think of a way to say this that doesn't get us in trouble. Okay. um just the way that we build the narratives around things and that we set each other up, it reminds me of a conversation that I had with a friend about the village, right? And we've had this conversation over and over. Because I am a person who does not have children, I remember a big conversation years ago about, because I don't have kids. Oh, this was when T.I. was talking about going into the gynecologist's office with his daughter, which turned out to be a lie. He was just capping on the internet because that's what men do. They get the microphone in front of them and they start lying to make themselves, seem grander than they are. But it was a lot of people being like, if you don't have kids, shut the fuck up. Like you don't have a fight in this conversation if you don't have children. And it just makes me concerned because are we concerned about the village or not? Like, do you want the village or not? And so it's the same thing when we say, it always gives me these vibes of, well, where are the parents? I hate that. I hate that saying so much. Where are the parents? Because you leave it at that. If the parents didn't do the job doesn't get done. I'm not doing it. Where's the parents? So we leave these kids out here with parents that we know can't care for them or care about them. And we just like, where is the parents? And the parents should be blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, the parents didn't. So where the fuck are you? Where are you? And if you're saying, I don't want to buy extra this or buy an extra that because my kids and blah, 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 then you don't care about a village. You don't care about that. Your child is at that school more than he's at home. He is at that school more than he's at home. Someone is caring for your child. And then you absolutely expect that teacher to stand in front of a bullet for your child and you won't help them with pencils. You won't help them with paper. Even if you can't buy everything, whatever you can buy. I saw a woman say she don't buy no school supplies. So y'all are essentially, that's the reason why you have to have extra school supplies. Because of her. Because of her. I ain't buying shit. I don't buy nothing. They go with a pack of paper and some pencils and that's it. Do you know what it's like to be the kid with no school supplies? I had to be the kid with no school supplies. My mama didn't have the money. Do you know what it's like? But she was out there. Okay, so I did not have school supplies. Let me take that back. I didn't have everything on that list, but I had stuff. My mama was out there hustling, selling food stamps, whatever she had to do. doing her cooking, whatever. So that she made sure we had trapper keepers and pencils and all that stuff. I had a box with my crayons and stuff went in it. My mama had to hustle for that. Like, so to get on the internet and say, I'm not buying my kids school supplies and I'm not buying your kids school supplies in a place where they are 8 hours a day. They eat 2 meals at that place. They only eat one at yours. They eat 2 meals there. You don't even eat 2 meals at work. You drink a coffee and you eat lunch, maybe. So, like, they're there all day and you don't want to buy extra Kleenex, extra pencils. You know those teachers are not making money. Like, and they're not asking you to do that because they're using them and taking them home. It's for your kids' education. And so we have just completely removed the village and what the family is because we are selfish. Because we have built a selfish nation. Because, and again, people are poor. I get that. And people are mean when they're poor. I will forever say this. When people are poor, people are crotchety. People are rich and crotchety too. But when people are poor, people don't have money, they can get mean. They can get mean. And so you just have to be really self-aware. Really self-aware. Because getting on the internet and saying, I don't buy my kids' school supplies, I'm not buying your kids' school supplies is bold. Bold. Because you are the reason that parents are on there complaining about having to buy school supplies. It's you with your crunchy wig on. Like, oh, it just makes me so mad. And again, I don't have kids, so this is not my fight, right? But as a person who is a part of the village, I'm going to do whatever for these kids. You know me. I hate you. I will beat you up. But them kids, baby, don't even look at them cross. Don't even look at them cross. And that's your kid, that's that kid, that's any kid. I don't care. If it's about kids, I don't want to hear nothing. Because kids don't have any control over anything. We control everything they experience. And if that's the experience that you want to give the kids, you're a shitty person. And you deserve to get popped in the nose. That might be the period talking. I don't care. I don't care. Like, it really upsets me when people be like, where are the parents? Okay, the parents aren't there. Now what? You just want to say that because you want to drop the ball. You're done caring about whatever this is. And so where are the parents is your last stop on this ride. Because if the parents were there, you would not need to be present. Asking where the parents are when you know the child is not taken care of does nothing. You just want to be done. And that's what this whole discourse about. That's what all this is about, is that everybody just wants to be done. Nobody wants to actually have to help, to, be a part of the community. Shout out to all the parents who were like, baby, if my child's teacher asked for a bust down or asked me to hit the dispensary, I'm on my way. Because you know your kids. You know your kids. Baby, I had them kids this summer. I know them kids. And they would still had me about to pop my eyeball out and throw it in somebody's mouth. I wanted to pop it out and while they was talking and pop. So you know your kids. You know how your kids are stressing in people. You know it. You know. But extra pencils, too much. Too much. I can't take it. So we really got to get out of this circle of I'm not going to help you. I can't help you. Where's your parents? Say that to some adults. Where are the parents? Why y'all never say that to adults? When they make news stories and tear shit up, why y'all never say, where's the parents? Why y'all never say that? Why nobody never asked the parents? Why nobody never asked where Brock Turner's parents was? Nobody asked where Brock Turner's parents was. Where's Donald Trump's mama and daddy? Y'all don't care about that? Where are the parents? Where are the parents? Where is Marjorie Taylor Greene's parents? Okay? Do you see that? That's what happens when nobody cares about you. When you grow up and everybody's just where are the parents. So I don't want to make those kind of kids. I don't want to make kids feel that way. I don't want kids to have to figure it out. I don't want to be the kid who doesn't have school supplies. And shout out to the moms who just don't have it. I get that. I did have to buy school supplies. I did raised my younger brother and my younger sister for a short amount of time. I had my brother for years, so I bought school supplies for years, and I was hustling. I was making like $13 an hour trying to feed a 6'1", 245-pound football player. Um, Getting him a car, like doing all this stuff. Like I had to buy school supplies. I had to do that, and I was doing what my mama did. I went to this store. I went to that store. I bought this from this place. And I started early. She would always start early. Soon as the summer was over, she was buying stuff. And another good tip I got from my mom: if you don't have the ability to buy school supplies, or you know that it's going to be a struggle for you, buy it after the season. So there's going to be a time frame. Like right now, all the school supplies are going to be really expensive, right? But next year, they're going to need the same thing. And so when you get into like September, October, that's when you start cleaning up on that stuff, buying those papers. I do that for so many things. I especially do it for Valentine's Day because I usually do like my nieces and nephews Valentine's, but I buy those cards after Valentine's Day the year before. I got a drawer of Valentine's cards in there right now that when Valentine's Day come up, I'm gonna pull them up. They gaming cards, they unicorn cards, stuff that you can use all the time. But I bought them for like 50 cents because I bought them after the holiday. So if you can do that, if you can stock up, if you can think the forward, ahead to grab the stuff before you get to that point, it can help you. Okay, for the moms who still trying to make it, there are things that the kid is going to need, right? There's gonna need stuff, and I think I might. Matter of fact, I'm finna do it right now. um okay, I'm gonna put it right. Oh, hold on, it's not my page. If you know someone, excuse me, who has a small child and is struggling with school supplies, try to help out. I'm gonna put a post on my thing right now. Actually, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do. Cause y'all parents done piss me off. Maybe I should ask a teacher. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put this on here. And okay, I put, if you're a mother, father struggling with purchasing school supplies, please reach out to me. I have a couple dollars on it. All right. Oh no, hold on. Do I want to go say something smart? I might say something smart. No, I'm not. Um, I'm not. I'm not gonna say nothing smart. I was about to, cause if you turn that camera on and get online talking about, and whoever asked me, I'm gonna go online and see if you've been talking shit about not buying school supplies for everybody. I'm not buying none for you. If you've been online talking about you not buying school supplies for no other kids, baby, get out, and I'm gonna cuss you out. So be not too much, not too much, okay? Um, but yeah, if you are a parent and we are friends, and you are struggling, I I will help you. I don't have a lot of money, okay, because I'm still broke, but I got enough for school supplies. I'll figure it out. I will do that. So um just don't try to be that person. I know that it's really hard right now, but remember you're mad because you're poor. I know. I'm mad right now because I'm poor. You're mad because you're poor. So this is our life. This is what we do. This is us. So, yeah. If you need help, I'm here. So let's just open up the space for everyone who needs the services. Um, I'm gonna give you a couple book recommendations. Um, if you are interested in other different ways that people are creating families, here are some references and resources. Baby cakes, what you doing? Oh, okay. So yeah. Um, those are some resources for alternative reproductive options. Please feel free to look into them. Those are pretty easily to be found. So, excuse me. Good luck. If you are looking at making a family, congratulations. If you are having trouble creating a family or, getting started, look at some alternative options. There's a lot of different ways that you can make a baby right now. And, but it does, unfortunately, require you to have some kind of money. We live in a society where your livelihood is based on how much money you have, unfortunately. So I definitely do apologize for that. I don't have any it's nothing I can do about it. I'm a black woman, so nobody cares what I think. I don't have any power, sorry, but I can give you encouragement. I do have the power to do that, and to um push you to look for alternative methods of creating that family, and to use other people like the Brat and Judy and other queer and LGBTQ people, because they are being the bravest in this space. They are being the bravest. So you can follow along with them, see how it's working for them, see if that's something that you might be interested in, and just try to make a space for yourself. And if it doesn't work, that's fine, because heteronormative relationships also don't work. Also don't work all the time, right? So don't feel bad if you're trying something and it doesn't work. Don't let people tell you, oh, you thought you were poly, now you got more problems. Girl, you got the same problems. I just seen a lady crying because she have to ask her husband of 14 years for money to spend to take care of things around the house. She has to ask for it. So, like, that could be your life in a heteronormative relationship. So, there's no, like, we have an attachment to things that we probably should not be so invested in. I'm just saying. And also, heteronormative, traditional trad wife relationships are terrible for both parties. For both parties. The usually in those trad wife relationships, you hardly ever see the man. You hardly ever. That's why it's called trad wife, not trad husband. You hardly ever see the man and his contribution to that lifestyle. And so they're not always conducive to, those heteronormative lanes are not always the best option for you. But you have to open your mind to see that. Like your grandma, she probably didn't. Well, let me take that back, because everybody's grandpa, your grandpa too, I don't care what you talking about. Everybody's grandpa had an outside baby that they brought home for their grandma. It might not have been your grandpa. It might have been your great grandpa. It might have been your great great grandpa. Mine's was my great great grandpa. My great great grandpa bought my grandma home as an outside child and made my grandma raise her. My great grandma raised her. She was really mean to her. And it just, that actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's like my family story. Okay, so my great grandpa used to work on the railroad, and he would be gone on the railroad, but he had a baby, and he brought that baby home. My grandma, Virgin May House, brought her home, and found out while he was gone away that the wife was treating my grandmother bad. Wasn't letting her go to school, beating her, um, making her the slave. She was having to clean up after everybody. And my grandpa came home and beat the brakes off that lady. And I don't condone that, but don't do my baby like that. Don't do my child like that. But again, this is also something you created because you done brought this other woman's child into this house. But that's where my grandma stayed. And then my grandma had her own kids. And then when my mom was 11, my grandmother died. And the lady that ended up raising my mom was also her adoptive mother, was terrible to her. Terrible to her. And then mama wondered why I didn't have kids. Girl, I'm not finna keep on doing that. I'm not finna keep that going. Y'all got me messed up. So there has been non-nuclear families for as long as we've existed, right? The reason why Thomas Jefferson has a black side is because of non-nuclear families, okay? So stop holding on to that, the expectation that that's what it's going to be, because it's not. You have to look outside of your societal coats that you may be wearing on what a family looks like, how a family moves, things like that, okay? So, queering reproduction is a step forward in, it's called queering reproduction, but that's because heteronormative people don't really discuss their issues with childbirth and things like that. Like, we all just know that celebrities are getting IVF, but have you ever heard a celebrity say they're getting IVF? We just know that they are. Like, that's just a running rumor in, life. And I'm saying we know that they are, but that's the rumor anyway. The rumor is that, they're all using in vitro and trying to get the best babies, genes, all that things. You ever wonder why celebrities don't have disabled children? Do you know any celebrities who have children who are disabled? I think my mom was the first one to put that idea in my brain, that they're choosing. And you don't put nothing past a capitalist society. Of course they can. Of course. So it is there are a lot of different ways to create a family. And if the way that you've chosen does not feel good to you, maybe you should try something else. Maybe you should try living with your best friend and both of y'all raising y'all kids. Maybe you should try a polycule. Maybe you should try in vitro fertilization. Maybe you could try a sperm bank. You can try all kinds of things to be able to get the family that you're looking for, okay? All right. That's us for the day. If you have any additional questions, you know where to find me. I'll probably be somewhere angry, at least for the next 2 days. At least for the next 2 days. Life is good. Life is good. So just keep yourself safe. If you come across $60,000, it's mine. If you find it, it's mine. I dropped it. It is my 60 grand and I want it now. Okay. I'm not even not say that. I do need my $60,000. But I just need it to be given to me. I want monies. So yeah, here we are. Okay, so that's going to be the end of our show for today. We will be back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for Late Night with Coach Katasha. We are absolutely about to be talking about y'all's Uncle Shannon. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you tune in. We talking about a couple other things too, but I just saw a video today from Kwame Brown. And so I don't know. I'm a football girl, so that man been in everybody's mouth. And he was on live today, baby, tearing them up. Turn them up. Turn them up. I love that for him. He, it is they talked bad about that man. They did. Him and Gilbert Arenas both talked bad about the man. And Gilbert Arenas is don't even. I I was definitely about to say something that was gonna get me canceled. I was definitely about to say something that was gonna get me canceled. But I feel that do what you gotta do for him. So we'll be back here tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will see y'all then. Peace and play.